I've never found these before, at least with it looking like that. Oh, I just love these porcupines. Such a pretty animal. Look at this right across the trail. There's a whole big clump of them that are fresh. See those? Sarcodon imbricatus. Choice edible. And now that I spit that out, because you don't want to eat these raw, it does. I can taste the shrimp, that shrimp flavor to it. Welcome to another episode of Utah Mushroom Hunter. I'm Blaine Washburn, and here we are just past mid-August, and we've had quite a few good rains. I'm going up to one of my areas. This is in the Wasatch Mountains, and we're going to be hunting, see if we can find some Boletus Edulis. I'm a little bit worried because we're here. I'm not sure if the rains have been consistent enough to find them, but we're going to look and see what we can find today. There should be other kinds of mushrooms that are out as well. We're hoping to find a Sarcodon imbricatus, maybe some. We're going to try to identify a shrimp rosola today. We're hoping to find some of them as well. But anyway, we've got some people with us here. We got Angelo. And how did we find you? How did we go?
Well, I saw you, and I was driving by, and I was actually going mushroom hunting, trying to kill some time. And I saw him getting out of his car. I was like, I won't park there. And then I recognized him from YouTube. and so I drove up, I flipped around as quick as I could and chased him down and said, hey, can I come hunt with you?
All right, so he's going to come along with us. We're excited to have you, Angelo. We're glad that you found us.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
And then we got Bruce here. Bruce is my optometrist.
Yeah.
So I was getting my eyes examined, and we got talking about mushrooms, and I found out he's an avid mushroom hunter. And his office is down in the Walmart in Linden. And so if you need a good eye doctor, I recommend you go to him because he's always treated me really, really well.
Thanks. Yeah, I asked Blaine, do you have any hobbies? Because I wanted to see how he was using his eyes. And he goes, well, you're not going to believe what hobby I do. It's mushroom hunting. And I said, I'm a mushroom hunter.
So here we are with him, and I'm so excited that he's come up to do this. And he's a good man. You can just feel his good heart. And so if you need a good eye doctor to take care of you, he'll be amazing. Then we got Shane here. This is my cousin. And this is your first mushroom hunt, right?
This is my very first one, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited to have him. He's like 20 some years younger than me, so I really haven't known him very well in my life, and I was recently out at Denver at his brother's funeral, and you probably saw I had a video I just posted of the Denver mountains, and I would not have made that video if I hadn't gone out to his funeral. But I'm excited to have him along with us today. He's a good man. You can feel his heart as well. He's just a good person. So you guys, thank you. Here, everybody jump back in there, Angelo. So we're excited to go out and see what we can find today. Hopefully we find some good mushrooms. All right, let's get going. All right, so here's our first mushroom that we found, and look how big it is. I mean, you look at the top, and it kind of looks like it could be a Boletus Edulis, but look down there. You can see that there are gills in there, and if you look really careful, you can see a little bit of webbing right along that edge right there. That is a dead giveaway that this is a Cortinarius mushroom. And my guess is that if you did a spore print on this, you'd get a kind of a rusty brown spore print. This is not one you want to eat. This one is could make you very sick. Some of these Cortinarius are deadly. I just leave all the Cortinarius alone for the most part, and I just leave them alone. So be careful of those. That is not a Boletus Edulis, but this is a good sign. We haven't even started looking yet. We literally just shot our first video, and this was right at our feet. So this is a good sign. We're probably going to find some good mushrooms today. That's what we're hoping for. Okay, so I just found these right here, and these could be the Flammula velu types. They look a lot like it, but I'll need to do a spore print on those. If that has a white spore print, then that'll be a good eater. That's kind of fun. Flammula velu types. Gotta have the white spore print though. Okay, so here's something really interesting I just found. Look at those mushrooms right down there. I've never found these before, at least with it looking like that. But look at that. Okay, so it does look like a Cortinarius because it's got that webbing that's on it. But I've never seen them like that before. For all you guys who are watching this video, if you can put down in the comments if you know what kind of Cortinarius this is, but that is kind of a fun looking mushroom. There's what it looks like cut in half. You can see it does have those brand gills. So definitely it's going to be a Cortinarius. But if you know the specific type of this, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear your comments. Okay, so look here what Angelo just found. He was kind of down in this ravine, and I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit there. You can see these oysters coming out of the log, and look at this awesome big oyster right here that he found. And you know, this log is definitely inoculated. You can go right up this log and you can even see one poking out right there. And then we got this thing here, which I think is a wood ear. I've never really harvested them, but I believe that's wood ear, which is supposed to be an edible. And so those that are watching, why don't you comment and tell us if indeed that is a wood ear. Looks like it probably is. See, look at these. That's got to be a wood ear. I typically have ignored these, but I'm trying to expound on what I actually bring home. But look at those. A couple of them there too. And then there's that beautiful oyster. It's probably a Pluterus pulmonarius. We'll look at the underside here in just a second. Okay, so Angelo's going to go ahead and harvest this one. Let's just see what it looks like underneath. Okay, see that? See how the those gills go right to the stem? And notice how they attach to the stem. That's a telltale sign of an oyster. That'll be a yummy, delicious oyster. Okay, so Bruce just had a comment here. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, that's a perfect age for an oyster mushroom. That's going to be very delicious.
Yeah, see how young that is? I mean, that is just in perfect condition. The bugs haven't gotten to it. That's going to be so yummy.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the one that was up by my feet. It looked like it was coming out of the log, but Angelo just pulled it up, and it turns out that it was coming out of the ground. And look at that. It's got a different tint to the underlying gills. This one is absolutely not an oyster, and probably if he would have thrown it in his bag, he probably would be throwing up all night. So I'm glad you noticed that. Yeah. I don't know specifically what kind this is, but it's not one you want to eat. And yeah, definitely don't eat that thing. How does it smell?
Doesn't really smell like much.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look safe.
Yeah, it's when you leave it alone. Look what I just came across. Look. That is awesome. Look at this guy.
Don't get too close.
It is just super pretty. Love these porcupines. But look at the back there. You can see where animals have tried to bite onto him. And that's where they've he's missing all of his quills. See, and he's pointing them right at me. He's got them raised right there because he's protecting himself from me. Oh, I just love these porcupines. Such a pretty animal. See them raising those quills? And he's watching me so careful right there. All right, so look at this one that Angelo found. These little jelly mushroom. I can't remember exactly what these are called, but I find them quite often. Just a really fun little pretty mushroom. They're so small, I'd never even consider eating them, but they're fun. Look at this here. Here's my first Sarcodon imbricatus of the day up here. See that right there? Shane, you want to grab that? And just kind of pull it out, and I'll show you the bottom of it, and show you the telltale signs of how to identify this particular mushroom. You can definitely, I mean, this is the only one up here that has that kind of look to on the top, but flip it over, and if you look careful, see all those little teeth? Those are just young teeth. This one's is young and going to be super delicious. So that's a fun find. We probably will find a lot more of these since we found this one. We're getting into an area I've found a lot of them in the past. All right, so Angela's got to go.
Sorry, guys.
Thanks for hunting some mushrooms with us, and did you have fun?
Oh my God, I had a blast, and thank you so much for teaching me. It was a blessing, absolutely, to run into you. So I appreciate it very much. Nice meeting you.
Oh, nice meeting you too. And I wish you could keep hunting with us because I know we're going to find some good mushrooms.
Yeah, I know.
And
But I got a couple.
yeah, you got a couple. That's awesome. And you come up here in a couple weeks in the same area, 2 more weeks, and you'll probably find a lot more Boletus Edulis. Okay.
Awesome.
And we might still find some today. We got some areas that I think we have a good chance on. But thank you so much for hunting with us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you again.
You bet. All right, so look at these fun mushrooms that we found. You guys know what these are? Look at that. Those are a puffball. Very edible as long as we get them early enough. We'll have to cut one of those in half and see if they're still edible. But yeah, those are fun puffball mushrooms. Okay, so here's these over here. Look at this right across the trail. There's a whole big clump of them that are fresh. Those should be super yummy. Look at those, super fun. See that? Bruce cut that in half and you can see that it's pure white through it. It's not an amanita. Bruce was just saying that you got to be careful that you don't get an amanita. And when you cut them in half, you can see the little gills. Is that right?
Yeah.
So this one.
Yeah, kind of the outline of the gills right down in there.
Which are subtle. So when you got to really look for it. But you can see this one is pure white all the way through. So this will be a good edible. All right, so Bruce here is looking, and we just searched this area, which I found them here many times in the past. And we can't find any Sarcodon imbricatus in that area. But right over here where it gets a little bit more sunlight, I'm wondering if the soil's just a little bit warmer. But we found some here. Let's see if I can get there. See those? Sarcodon imbricatus. Choice edible. Those are fun. Nice find, Bruce. Okay, so yeah, it looks beautiful.
Beautiful though. Just so pretty.
Oh yeah, and look at those teeth. That's just a fun mushroom.
Yeah.
The stem does have a lot of worms in it. And let's cut it in half. Let's see what the condition looks like when you cut one in half. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Or do the bigger one. Okay.
I think they're just in the stem.
Okay, just in the stem.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that one, it actually is pretty wormy. Dang. Yeah, I probably would not eat that one. Okay, so look at this here. This is a Rosola. It's got some good size to it. What is that, about 4.5, 5 inches across, something like that. Look at that dark red cap, almost purplish. This could be a shrimp Rosola. We are wanting to find those. See that right there? You got the white underneath, and you can see a tinge of the pinkish blush on the side. I'm almost certain that this is going to be a shrimp Rosola because of that. Those are the traits of the shrimp Rosola.
I can smell it.
Can you smell it?
Yeah. Can you smell it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it totally smells like shrimp.
Okay.
Bad shrimp, but shrimp.
So there's one more test that we do. Is we just take a little nibble of it, and I'm not going to show me nibbling it, but I'm going to take a little bit of nibble, and I'll tell you how. What I'm looking for is if it's acrid or a little bit spicy, and if I can taste spice, then we don't eat it. But if there's no spice to it, then this is going to be an edible shrimp Rosola. All right, so I did just taste a little bit of that. I didn't swallow it. I just put it on my tongue and chewed it just for a little bit, and then I spit it out. But I left it on there long enough. I could feel the spice on it. And so this is one we don't want to eat. We're looking for the ones without the spice on it. So this is basically what we're looking for with the shrimp Rosola, but it's acrid. And so we don't eat it. So we're going to keep looking and see if we can find one that we can eat. All right, so there Bruce found some Romeria. And last year I ran into a guy who comes up here just to search for this Romeria because he loves it so much. You got to be careful with the Romeria because they can cause you intestinal distress. But according to the guy I ran into, this is probably a good mushroom. He loves it anyway, and he eats it. And my guess is this probably is a good one. We may take it just so I can test it out. But anyway, you can see how young it is. That'll grow much bigger. This area, there's a lot of ramaria. We'll probably find more today, I'm guessing. All right, so here's one that we just found. It looks very similar, but not quite as dark purple. You can see that it's purplish, but a lighter colored purple. It is definitely a Rosola. We got this one right here as well. They were growing up right next to each other. And how did it smell to you, Bruce?
It wasn't as acrid. It's the smell is a little different, a little less of a fishy smell.
Mm-hmm. And I just tested it, and it was not acrid like the other ones are. So this one should be a good edible. And now that I spit that out, because you don't want to eat these raw, it does. I can taste the shrimp, that shrimp flavor to it. It does. It tastes like I've eaten a shrimp, and that's kind of crazy. So this is why they call this a shrimp Rosola. So this one is going to be a good edible. I'll probably cut a lot of that stem off because there are some worms getting in there, but this one is it. This is what we were looking for and hoping to find. There's another coral. It's beautiful. There's another beautiful ramaria coral mushroom. There's a lot of them through this area. Look at what I found right here. Little Plutus pulmonarius. Fun. We're getting rained on, so I think we're about done. Okay, so we're going to call it a day. A lot of fun. We found a lot of really good mushrooms out there. One of the things that we wanted to figure out is if there's any Boletus Edulis popping yet. And we're starting to get the moisture that we need for them to pop, but we're still a little bit early for the Boletus Edulis. I imagine in about 2 weeks or so, those are going to be popping. But we jumped in the car because it's really starting to rain. So we're getting another big monsoon rain coming through here this afternoon. But we had a lot of fun. We found a lot of different kinds of mushrooms. What did you guys think of our mushroom hunt today?
It was good. A little sparse, but we found a good variety.
We did. A lot of them starting to pop. I just can't wait for those Boletus Edulis. They're my favorite. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. And my next one, I'm hoping to have a bunch of Boletus Edulis in it. I'm going to come back to this area here in a couple weeks, if not a week. And hopefully they'll be popping by then. I can tell this area is going to be really, really good because we got great precipitation that's been forecasted for this next week. And that's all we need. We just need persistent rain and moisture getting into here. And if we would have had good persistent monsoon late July at the least, they probably would be popping right now. In fact, they would be. But because July was so dry, they're late this year. I normally find them by this time of year, but they're gonna pop up. Keep watching. Watch for my next episode, and we'll be getting some Boletus Edulis. Anyway, hey, thanks so much for watching this episode. We'll see you in the next adventure.
See ya.